Snap back. There's the fade. There's DeMarco double team. Touchdown Aztecs. How did he catch that ball?
I'm in.
He breaks a tackle. He's gone. He's gone. Touchdown Aztecs.
I'm in.
Now being rushed. Now being hit. Now being dropped. 10-yard sack.
We're in.
I'm in.
I'm in this.
Well, it's really a big week for us. It's quite evident we have a lot of new faces that we're trying to integrate into our team this year, and we're not really where I'd like us to be at this point. We've really worked to had officials in a couple times, had scrimmages. We aren't where we should be. We need to improve that. We have an opportunity, two great opportunities. UCSD is the 7th ranked team in Division II. Nationally, and UCLA is the 12th ranked team in Division I nationally. So I know I'm real familiar with the UCSD head coach as one of my former assistants, and they're going to bring it, and they're going to be ready to go. So we have a lot of work to do to get ourselves ready and see where we are. We'll know a little bit more on Friday.
Coach, is it harder to build a program to a high level or to maintain a program at that high level?
I think you could argue that neither is easy. Sustaining excellence is a challenge. Think of any construction project you've ever had and not seen orange cones and flags because of construction delays. We had 2 ACL injuries last year that are really impactful right now. They were impactful. So 7 of our 12 didn't play college basketball last year. There's nothing you can do or say about that. We're inexperienced in a competitive setting. Our skills are good, our conditioning's good, but we're inexperienced in a competitive setting. So as I said, ready or not, had officials in, playing more games, doing 5-minute games in practice, because every little part of a game that you come to have a comfort zone with an experienced group is an adventure with a new group. So it's not, I'm not answering your question, I'm good for that, but it's more our level of inexperience for a myriad of different reasons has us in a situation where all we can do is compete and learn from competing.
Well, I know last year you talked about one of the strengths of the team was the unselfishness, the willingness of players to do what they had to do for the team. Is that still going to be a strength, that role-playing aspect?
Well, but what is my role? With 7 new people, we've had 18 practices, so you have to 18 practices and no games. Roles are defined as you get on throughout the season. So we don't have a starting 5 yet. 5 people will start Thursday, 5 people will start against UCLA. I don't know that will be our starting 5. The rule is you got to start 5. So we haven't earned 5 spots yet. We haven't figured out a rotation yet. We're still in that process. And it's going to take games for it to happen.
You've talked about the importance of the bigs, especially this year. And obviously, every part of the game is important. But this year, do they have to play very well to win?
No question. Last year, if our interior was average, we could still win a game. If our interior was good to great, we played great. If our interior doesn't lead us in scoring, defending, rebounding, it's going to be very difficult for us. But that's, they're juniors and seniors. They're all juniors and seniors. 3/5 of our team, is returning from a very successful run. I think the challenge is, John, that even though they're returning, they have different roles. Paris's role is different. Coco's role is different. JB's role is different. So they're returning, but they're in a different kind of leadership productivity expectation than they have in the past. And I'm confident in our team. I'm confident in the seniors, and I think our front line has been good. Kalina Tutt has been lights out. Gabby Clark has been very good. But we need to continue to be consistently good. We can't turn the ball over. We can't miss layups. We can't do things that I think in the past they had a tendency to be a little inconsistent. And that's why we've got to practice a little bit more consistent.
At the same time, Coach, does that sort of get your
coaching juices flowing as opposed to having...
Oh, my coaching juices are flowing. Trust me on that. The juices are flowing. A matter of fact, they were really flowing the other day when we had a scrimmage. Without question, you knew going in this year was about teaching. But teaching is also a two-way street. You know, teaching is a two-way street. So I think that our challenge right now is we have a lot of people who are used to deferring to somebody else. So everything about Aztec basketball is to be proactive rather than reactive, is to be aggressive rather than to defer. So our challenge right now is a lot of people are waiting for the guy next to them to make some action, and so that's why we're progressing too slowly. We need to go out and grab some stuff. So we need to pick up our competitive level in practice, because it's hard to coach until people play with aggression. You know, we're more not doing something versus doing something that you can adjust or tweak. We need to be a lot more aggressive from top to bottom before we can begin to think about competing.
Who's most likely to be the person to step up and be that first person?
I don't. That's why I said we're not ready. We don't. It's got to be the older kids. It's got to be the older kids. You know, it's got to be Coco. It's got to be Paris. It's got to be Jay. It's got to be. It's got to be. They know what's in front of them. You know, you have 7 people who got on a yellow bus and played a nice high school game where they walked into the jump circle and found out who they were guarding at the moment. You know, they're still deciphering that they're watching film for scrimmage. They don't get it. It's got to be the older kids.
Do you know who will start at those other 2 positions on Thursday?
No earthly idea. And, you know, sometimes I can look you right in the eye and be lying to you, you know. You always kind of wonder that. But we go back, we have rapport. No earthly idea is an honest answer.
Okay.
Honest answer.
Do you know when that will come to you?
You know, there's a rule, I think, 10 minutes prior to tip.
Okay.
Right now, there's a rule. We will know, you know, this is a huge week for us from a practice standpoint. We're getting better. We're starting to define what we do, but we don't have 5 that are better together yet. So the next 2 days, we're going to be really competitive in practice, and by the end of tomorrow's practice, we'll know. Whoever's starting Thursday night will know after practice on Wednesday, so we can be ready for that.